What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Two Fit Black Guys, the podcast all about everyday health and fitness. I am TJay from Addictive Fit.
And I am J Murph with OFBG Fitness.
And today we're going to be discussing how to strengthen our core or our abdominal muscles. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, sir. Doing good. How's everything with you?
Man, I got that COVID. Nah, I got that COVID shot. I don't want anybody thinking that I got it. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, got my second dose of the COVID shot, and I must say that it is. I'm glad I got it because my wife, she works with the homeless population, so want to make sure that I cover myself. But I go out to one of my jobs in the Navy is I have to go out to the different ships and assess and train the crew on there. So I just want to make sure that, I'm protecting myself as well as those that I come in contact with. So I went and got my second shot, and I'm a little sore, but I didn't get all of the fever and all that other stuff that those symptoms that everyone else was saying that they were getting. So I didn't get any of that, just a little bit of soreness, and I got that during the first shot. So I'm good.
Good. That's good to hear, man. So I know last week I was out in Vegas.
Partaking in some Valentine's.
Some Valentines, some slots machines, some blackjack, a little bit of everything, man. But I had a good time. It was kind of good to get away for a little bit, but now back into the swing of things here. And I know we're gonna get into something a little bit more tangible for this topic. I'm kind of glad we talked about it in the pre-work. So I'm looking forward to getting into this topic as far as the abs, not everything about abs, but the why, the function, the importance of it, and we got our personal favorites as far as exercises that we like to do to strengthen the abs.
Absolutely. I definitely think it's something that we can start on the next few episodes getting into, where we start talking about different muscle groups and what we can do to improve them, and the functions of those muscle groups. We've been kind of since we started basically just been talking about like the motivation and trying to stay motivational and inspiring those that are going through their fitness journey and trying to live a healthier lifestyle, and that's what this is all about. And then of course our own social media, we post a lot of our own exercises that focus on different muscle groups, but we never really discuss it or get into it, and we won't keep it we won't make it too like scientific and stuff like this. This is not Squat University. We don't have any actual demonstrations in terms of this podcast, but we will have links available, as well as our social media platforms will have demonstrations on the exercises that we're talking about. In fact, I've already today posted on both or on all my social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, a couple of the exercises that we're going to discuss today. So let's get into it, man.
Let's do it. So let's go ahead and just start with just some of the functions of the abs and just the importance of why why the abs are what they are. The body's very, very complex, man. So it's always just kind of fascinating to see the different functions of just different muscle groups. So without going too long and drawn out, I'll just start with some of the anatomy involving the abs. First, we have the rectus abdominis, which is basically just the center that kind of starts from the I would say the pubic area and just kind of works its way up about right about the sternum area. Then we have the obliques, which is basically on the left and right side. We also have the which would be external and internal obliques, and then we have the transverse abdominis, which is not which is more like suppressed underneath all that. So that's just like a simple, breakdown of the abdominal area, and most of that involves flexing of the spine as far as like sitting up, things of that nature. Also with like torso rotation, trunk movement, that's going to be mostly like your obliques, and then the believe it or not, your breathing, and that's also impacted by mainly the transverse abdominis, but that helps with like breathing and respiration and things as well. And just like I said, most importantly, just helping you stay upright. A lot of times people, and I say that because a lot of times people will be like, I don't have abs. But if you didn't have abs, you'd probably be hunched over and slumped over. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's kind of like your less squat university-ish breakdown.
Yes, that's the simplest way we're gonna put it.
Yeah, we always try to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Yeah.
So for those that are talking about, hey, what can I do for my abs to show? Well, that's another discussion that we need to have. But you should already have abs, and I think that's one thing that I always tell people: you have abs. There's just other things that we need to focus on. Now they say abs are made in the kitchen. Though that's somewhat true, I think they're actually revealed in the kitchen.
There we go. Yep.
You can strengthen your abs through different exercises that we will discuss. So, what are some of the benefits of having a strong core other than the flex on Instagram?
What you mean? What you mean other than, brother? I thought aesthetics was what it was all about, baby.
Hey, maybe to us, I don't know.
No, well, just I'm being funny. But obviously the aesthetics, it always, having whether you say flat stomach, a 6-pack, 8-pack, that's always important. But just having a strong core, just like with most muscle groups, it helps to reduce the risk of injury. Mm-hmm. If you're doing certain movements and certain exercises and you don't have that strong core, then you're going to have other muscle groups that are going to be compensating. And with that compensation comes risk of injury. Just one example will be the barbell back squat. So with the barbell back squat, one of the most important elements of the squat as you get deeper into it is keeping your chest up, keeping your core tight. And that's to help to minimize that forward lean, which would otherwise put an insane amount of stress on your lower back. Yeah. So that's just one example of having a strong core will help to keep your form intact for certain muscle group or muscle movements and exercises.
Well, sure. Let's pause there because I think you said something there that is very crucial, and I think it's something that a lot of us need to understand about when we're talking about back pain. Because I think a lot of people, if you've ever been to physical therapy, and one of the most common injuries that we experience is that lower back or back pain. If you've ever been to physical therapy, one of the things that they tend to do when treating your lower back or treating back pain is they're giving you core strengthening exercises that will help alleviate that back pain. So this is why this is very crucial when we're talking about strengthening your core. So it's more than just for the flex, and it's more for making sure that when you're performing different exercises, and it keeps you from preventing certain injuries, but it also helps improve or help heal a lot of those injuries that you may have already experienced.
Right. And just to tack on to what you just said, that is what will be considered in most times a muscle imbalance. Mm-hmm. So when people will say that back pain, a lot of times they will associate that with saying, I have a weak back. How do I get my, but the reality is your lower back is the pain is from overcompensation, basically meaning your back is accounting for a lot of movement that essentially is not responsible for.
Right.
So what you talked about with physical therapy, that core strengthening part of the therapy is in fact trying to help to strengthen the core, so that way the core is able to do its job and then alleviate the pain off of that lower back. Along with, of course, there's maybe other muscle groups as well, the glutes, obviously not obviously, but sometimes there's other muscle groups. But basically, it's essentially the same idea, is that there's a muscle imbalances, and you need to make sure that that's adjusted. And the most common would come from most people who sit down a lot,
right?
And that could be one of the reasons that your core tends to be weaker. So that, like we said, minimizing risk of injury, correcting muscle imbalances. Those are some of the more important reasons that you will want to make sure that you have a strong core overall, but definitely strong abdominals for some of those movements we talked about, flexing of the spine, rotating of the torso, things of that nature, leaning over to the side. So just different everyday functional activity that we do, where the stronger core would make things a lot easier for you overall.
Absolutely. So with that all in mind, how can one, outside of improving nutrition, how can one, or what are some exercises that you would suggest that we can do to strengthen our core?
Well, I won't go through all of them right now, but just like in the beginning, how I kind of broke down the different areas of the abdominals. There's multiple exercises that would address each one. I'm going to start with one that I think is very, very, I'm not going to say easy, but it's easy to do. And it's essentially a leg raise hold. And what you do is you lay on your back and you put your hands, I would say, either flat face down by your side, or you can just tuck them in underneath your lower back. And what you do is you take your legs as they are straight out and you just lift them up off the floor. Typically, I would say 45 degrees is a kind of a starting point. If you do have some back issues, you may want to start a little bit higher up. And then you literally just hold it. You hold it. You try to keep your lower back drawn into the floor, and you just keep that core tight, and you hold it. As far as time wise, start with 30 seconds. If you can hold it for 30 seconds, and just, work your way up from there. But that's a very, very, like I said, simple, what they would consider isometric exercise, because your core is going to be under tension that entire time.
Right.
So
what about someone who's always sitting? Let's say someone's at work and they're sitting behind a desk for 8 hours a day. What are some exercises that they can do just sitting? What are some core exercises that they can do while just sitting at their desk?
Well, just sitting at the desk, I would say that just the first one that kind of comes to mind is I don't want to say a stomach vacuum, but just the idea of, how people, like, when they suck their gut in for like a picture, how they want to kind of hide that.
Yep.
That would be probably the easiest thing you could do, is you just kind of you sit up tall, obviously. So you want to sit up nice and tall, back off the seat behind you, and you just kind of inhale, as we talked about, that transverse abdominis. You inhale and you just hold it for a period of time, then relax. You could do the same thing. You could do 30-second increments, and that's a good way to kind of just, from where you are, you work on strengthening that core. Once again, very, very simple, very easy to do.
Okay, I'll add to that with the holding the hands up, with the sitting up straight, and doing the vacuum with the core. You can add to this, and this is if you if you have the means to do it and don't mind looking or feeling weird while you're doing this. So while you're sitting up straight, back off your back from off the back of this chair. Take your hands straight up above your head. Hold it there. Hold it up while sucking in your core, and then you can do, if you within that 30 seconds, do alternate knee lifts. So arms straight up, and then just slowly alternate bringing the knee to the chest, and then give yourself like maybe 15-second rest. And I'll say do maybe 3 to 4 rounds of 30-second holds. And I think that's one way that you can do it just from sitting at the desk. I think that's one way you can help improve it. And then it also help improve your posture, especially like if you're hunched over throughout the day.
For any of you guys who happen to be working in the office, make sure your boss's door's locked before you just start. or you just decide to start just doing exercises. And I know you got 30 calls in the queue.
Right.
But yeah, that's a really good one. That's a really good one for sure.
So one of my favorite ones, and because I'm in the Navy, we have gone away from doing sit-ups. Sit-ups is, I guess, has through science has proven that it actually causes more has more impact to the lower back. So they've actually done away with sit-ups in the Navy, and now we are now doing planks. So we're doing plank holds, and we haven't officially, outside of our fitness leaders, haven't officially actually assessed the fleet doing plank exercises, but this is the new guidance now. This is the new way that we're going to be conducting our fitness assessments. So today I posted a few variations. I think I posted like 5 variations of different plank exercises. So it's going to, it should take that pressure off of the lower back. So instead of you doing a sit-up where some were either grabbing the back of their head and causing the issues with their neck, or improperly being able to do the full range of motion with the arms crossed the chest. Now you would do your planks. You can, the Navy would do them on their forearms, where they're from the shoulder to the hands have to be at a 90 degree. That elbow has to form a 90 degree straight out, back straight. And you should, your body should form a straight line from the head down to the toes, or at least to the heels, right? And then the best way that they're going to, I guess the best way they can do it to help you, or to identify whether or not there's any, like if there's any, what's they call it? The form is kind of is off, is by placing a shoe underneath that person's core. So if they touch the shoe, that means they've dropped too low. So they should be just above, they should be floating just above the shoe.
I'm curious. I'm assuming, I don't know if the details have been hashed out. I'm assuming this is going to be a time test.
It is.
All right.
So the way they do it is, so you'll hold it, and I think like the minimum time you have to hold it is for like 1 minute and 30 seconds, right?
Okay.
And then they're broken up in categories. So I think the minimum score is going to be like 1:30, and then the maximum time is going to be 4 minutes. All right. So 4 minutes would be the your outstanding high. So the way it works is the more the it's on a point scale. So it factors into the overall score of that PFA. So you have your push-up score, you have your plank score, and then you have your run score.
Got it.
And then it all combines. So so the plank, there are several plank variations. There are low plank, high plank. So the high plank, you're actually on your hands in the same fashion of your body being in a straight line, with your elbows in a 90-degree angle. You'll just simply come up on your hands in a push-up form, and then you will hold it. You have that straight line, right? Then
Mhm.
you have the exercise ball planks, where you can put your forearms, you plank your forearms on the ball, and you can hold it there. You can do what they call stir the pot, or
Stir the pot. There's push pull. Push
push
pull.
pull.
My
Yeah,
my clients my clients hate those.
the push pulls.
They hate those because they
I hate the
I
stir the
hate
pot.
yeah, I hate those too. I ain't gonna lie, I hate all that. But I feel it.
Yeah,
So
you're right. So I definitely did I did the push pull um this morning. I did the a modified walking plank, because some people have, when I've done demonstrations of the high to low plank or the walking plank, where you go from your forearms to your hands and back down. Um, I've had um, I've had people have issues with being able to go from low to high. So I did a modified where you simply go you go one arm at a time, where you go from low to high and then back down, low to high. So you don't actually come fully up on your high. You just kind of like tap up and then come back down. Then there's a plank rock, when you're actually in the low plank, and you kind of just rocking your hips, and it puts a focus on not only the
kind of
uh,
like rotating the hips.
right. So
Yeah,
it adds the obliques in there as well.
yeah.
And then plank jacks is also one, but I also modified that to plank tap. So you just doing it's so like you would do like a jumping jack.
Hmm.
You would do um, the jack portion of it in a planking. You can do this either low or high. It's more effective if you do it on low, and then you can jack it out, or you can um, just do a tap. So the modified one would be just tapping one leg, one foot out at a time. And again, you can catch all this on the on our social media platforms. We will have links in the description. Um, and then I think I had one other one that I don't know why it's escaping me, but there's the plank, and different plank variations are going to be some of your best, in my opinion, some of your best core exercises that you can perform.
Good. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think I already mentioned one earlier with the static leg raise hold.
Mm-hmm.
And since you kind of introduced the exercise ball or the stability ball,
Mm-hmm.
there are a few that I like to do with the stability ball. One of them you mentioned, the forearm planks on top of the ball,
Mm-hmm.
with different variations from there, like you mentioned, stir the pot, push pull. And there's one that I like to do that actually is kind of like a variation of of the ab wheel, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically like a rollout using the actual exercise ball. So you basically kind of you start on your knees, and you kind of create like some space between yourself and the ball, maybe like a foot to a foot and a half. Palms of your hands on the ball, and then you kind of roll from the palms, roll your body out from your forearms to your upper arms,
Mm-hmm.
drop your hips. By the time you get to your upper arm, you should pretty much be leveled out. And then you just basically elevate your hips, tuck your arms back in, work yourself back up to that starting position where you have your hands on the top of the ball. And for the audience, in the description, I'll have a link. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just upload a YouTube video, which will have a link, or pardon me, which will have all the exercises that I'm talking about today on that video. And then I'll just link in our description for today's episode. So it's just a pretty easy to follow I would even say just call it just a ab workout, ab routine. If not, just take each individual exercise you can do on your own, and then you can do them. I'll try to put the recommended reps and sets and things of that nature as well. I like the exercise ball because it's a very lightweight, pretty easy to use, inexpensive piece of equipment. So if you don't have one, you can go to Walmart, go to any sporting goods store, and pick one up for fairly. And for the audience, I got one. This is basically the exercise ball or stability ball that, and there's different sizes, of course. There's, I see yours in the back. I see yours too.
It's just chilling over there.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, I mean, that's, there's a million exercises. One thing I do want to say before we head out of here is, when you're doing your ab exercises, I would try to treat it like a muscle group that you're working. Basically, and I say that to say that, there's no need to do like 1,000 sit-ups a day. There's no need to do like 100, whatever a day. You don't have to work your abs every day.
Right.
Just like any other muscle group, if you work it every day, you're going to lead to overtraining, and, you're not going to get what you want from it. Especially if you're talking aesthetics, because you're basically just, there's just scar tissue upon scar tissue from tearing that muscle that hasn't had a chance to heal. And the muscles haven't had a chance to rebuild because you keep trying to break them down. So
absolutely.
But yeah, that was just something I wanted to mention that before. I didn't want to forget it. So,
all right. So remember that the abs are revealed in the kitchen. They're built in the gym.
There we go.
So if you have and I hate to say it this way, but if you have like an abundance of fat that is covering your ab muscles, understand that one of the first things you want to do is kind of adjust your nutrition. We'll get more into future episodes when we start talking about strength training and like how all of that also plays into building your core muscles. But just for this episode, we're just discussing the function of the abdominal muscles and the importance of them and the benefits, and then just some simple exercises that you can do that can strengthen those core muscles. So that's all you have today, brother?
That's it, man. That's all I got for today.
Well, that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in to Two Fit Black Guys. You can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at 2 Fit BLK guys. I am TJ from Addictive Fit. You can follow me at fitness_leader_TJ.
And I'm on all social media at OFBG Fitness. All of it.
All right, guys, that'll be all for today. Enjoy your week.
Peace.